Hello friends, welcome back to part 21 of my Tesla Q4 2022 earnings forecast video review series. Let's check in with Loki briefly, and you can see he is still sleeping as he has been for the past several parts of this video series. Let's head over to share my desktop with you, where we left off in part 20 talking about production and deliveries of Tesla vehicles with my forecast for 420,069 deliveries. This is probably the only quarter Tesla has a chance at delivering exactly that many vehicles, and I did not want to miss my chance to get it right if that happens to be the number. Like, how embarrassed would I be if I didn't forecast that number and Tesla reports it? That's a mistake you can't make up for later. So that's my forecast. We'll see where the actuals come in on the 2nd of January when Tesla reports production and deliveries for Q4. We are almost at the end of the year now. So here's the next section. This is talking about revenue by type, and I've got this all the way back to 2018. Look how small the total automotive revenue was back then. Q1 of 2018, it was not even $3 billion worth of automotive revenue. And grew to $6 billion by the end of that year. That's huge growth. Then $9 billion by Q4 of 2020. $16 billion almost at the end of Q4 2021. This year I've got that at $23 billion. We'll see what we get. That's my forecast. And then for next year, I've got it growing up to $37 billion worth of total automotive revenue. This is the heart of Tesla's earnings, is automotive sales revenue. The other divisions, energy and services and other, haven't been making that much money. Maybe they will start making a lot more money in the future, but Tesla's profits to date have been contributed mostly by automotive revenue. So what's the breakdown that I have here? Well, almost all of the revenue is coming from the base configurations revenue. So for each of the models at each of the sites, I'm forecasting how many units they're going to sell and how much the revenue per vehicle will be on average. So it's not a surprise that the base price of the vehicle is where you're getting most of the revenue. The ASP, or the cash buyer ASP, you can see in the middle of this calculation, 22.837 billion. So this is how many dollars worth of revenue are being contributed by what the buyer sees when they configure their vehicle in the design studio online when they order their Tesla. So it depends on what options they say yes or no to. If you say no to every option, then the revenue ends up in this bucket, the base configuration for vehicles that have no options on them. How much is Tesla making off of paint options? I've got $288 million worth of sales there. Performance packages, those are pricey for Model S and Model X in particular. But if you buy those, that's contributing $1.6 billion, I'm forecasting, in Q4. Then wheels, I've got the Cyber Quad place held in here already because there was nowhere else to put it among the options rows. So upgraded wheels, another $163 million. Interior options, so alternate interior seating configurations or upholstery, that's $255 million in my forecast for Q4. And then full self-driving, this is going to be a big source of Tesla's revenue growth in the future, I'm forecasting, but I've already got it going up some in Q4 to $566 million as more people realize how good full self-driving is, and as the product gets better, and as Tesla raises the price of it, the revenue is going to go up, is my expectation. And I've made some videos about how that's really the biggest risk in my earnings forecast, is what if people don't buy FSD at increasing rates in the future. then Tesla will make less profit. They'll still be profitable. It'll just be smaller profit numbers if that happens. Okay, so that's how you get to the cash buyer ASP, what the buyer thought they were buying when they completed their design studio. What else happens? Well, you have to make an adjustment for the people who didn't pay cash, which is why that's called the cash buyer ASP line. One of the reasons why it's called that is that some of the deliveries go to people who are only leasing. They're renting the car, usually over a 3-year period, and then giving it back to Tesla at the end of the 3 years. So how much are they paying? A lot less than the people who are paying cash over the 3-year life of that lease. So you got to make an adjustment to remove $926 million worth of revenue from people who leased instead of buying. Then there's the destination and delivery fee of, $1,200-ish bucks per Tesla delivered. So that makes you another $500 million worth of revenue. Then you've got regulatory credit sales. Some people will tell you that that's not real automotive revenue, but try selling regulatory credits without building cars. People will say, that's not revenue from building cars. Well, if you don't build cars, you can't sell regulatory credits. Also, the vehicles have to be zero-emission vehicles. You can't just build any car. It has to be an EV someone wants to buy. It has to be a compelling electric vehicle in order for you to make a lot of money selling regulatory credits. So Tesla will make about $368 million on regulatory credits revenue in Q4 is what I'm forecasting. And the last item here is the everything else bucket. So what's coming in here? Well, the FSD deferral revenue. So what I had up here was the FSD revenue at time of sale for new vehicles being delivered. That's how the calculation works. But you can upgrade after the fact to FSD on a Tesla you bought 4 or 5 years ago. If you want to, you can buy an over-the-air update for FSD, pay Tesla $12,000, and get FSD on your Tesla. There's other over-the-air updates. You can get acceleration boost upgrades. There's data plans, there's other subscriptions, and there's FSD subscriptions revenue in here, and every other kind of revenue that hits as automotive is included in that line. That gets you to the total automotive revenue. Then I guess I'll close this out by showing you what these are doing. So if you exclude full self-driving, leasing, resale value guarantees, and regulatory credits, you get this number, $22,765 million. Then there's deliveries excluding those subject to lease accounting. So you take the 420,000 069 that I'm forecasting for total deliveries, you back out the leased deliveries, and that leaves you 403,000 cash deliveries is what that's doing. Then here I've got total automotive cost of sales dollars. That's just linking down to the next section we'll review in the next video with total automotive cost. So that's that 16,991 that gives you gross margin excluding full self-driving and leasing, etc. That's what that says. So if you throw out full self-driving, leasing, resale value guarantees, and regulatory credits, this is what your automotive gross margin percent would be. Still making a quarter on every dollar worth of sales in automotive. All right, and then what's this row doing? It's just taking the total automotive minus the regulatory credits. I don't even have a label on that row, but if you want to know what the total automotive revenue would be without regulatory credits, there's the answer. And with that, I will close out of this video and say if you've enjoyed today's video, click the like button, or, let me know in the comments. Hey, James, I liked your video. Or, you could comment and say something else. That's fine too. My videos are always free, but if you find value in what I'm contributing and you feel like saying thank you, you could say thank you in the comments. Or what I recommend is that you support me through Patreon, where you'll get the most value for your support, which is early access to my videos and exclusive series like James and Loki's Gems of the Week, which is a This Week in Tesla Twitter review where I talk about all the tweets that I liked that week. Or you can join my YouTube channel, and that has some benefits as well that you can go check out. Those links are in the video description. So thank you to everyone who supports me, especially Kathy Kitchler and Halter Ferguson Financial, my executive producers, and I'll see you in the next one.